snap more than the ball? We've got specialists for that. Jump shot, leave your knee shot? We've got specialists for that. Face down after that face off? We've got specialists for that. Orlin & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Farmingdale State College is the home to Nassau County's biggest games. And tonight doesn't get bigger than these two. It's the Nassau AAA semifinals. First up, the top-seeded Hawks from Plainview JFK taking on the 5th-seeded Chiefs of Massapequa. Tonight's Nassau AAA semifinal brought to you by the fine folks at Orlin & Cohen. We thank them so much for their sponsorship of the Nassau County Boys Soccer Playoffs. Well, we welcome you inside the booth here, Dylan Butler, Rob Anderson, for what should be really very interesting semifinals. Listen, we do an open for both of these games. We honestly could just do our open here, cut and paste for game 2, because the storylines are the same. In this one, it's Massapequa, Plainview, JFK, right? The only loss of the year for Plainview JFK came to Massapequa.
Right.
So Plainview JFK looking to not only avenge that loss, but get back to the final. And they've got some unfinished business there as well, where they lost last year. And Massapequa, a team that is playing with a lot of confidence right now. They had to get into the. They didn't get into the playoffs until the final day of the regular season. But they're playing with a lot of confidence. They had a big PK win in the previous round, so it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is a team, both teams, that are coming in with very similar stories in the fact that both coaches said ups and downs on the season. We had our moments. Massapequa gets their swagger at the right time, an important time. And as you said, the drama is that they've split the difference. A lot of returning starters for that Plainview team. And the Massapequa team bringing back some guys that know how to play. So it's going to be a tight matchup here for the AAAs.
And for Massapequa, there you see the Chiefs huddling with their head coach, Matt Burke. He said in our conversation with him that the win over Plainview JFK was a highlight of the season to this point. It was on the road. It was under the lights. It was a loud atmosphere, and they came away with a 1-0 win, right? They squeaked it out. They got that one moment, and they finished their chance. This is a game we don't think there's going to be a lot of chances between either team. They're so tightly contested. But one thing we do know, Rob, if there's two guys who will impact this game for Massapequa, they reside in the midfield. On the left, it's Jeremy Velez, your box-to-box midfielder. And then Jack Egan. He's going to be really important because he's filling in at the defensive midfield spot that usually Joe D'Amico is. Joe D'Amico tonight filling in at center back because of a red card to Massapequa's top defender, Leandro DeCuba, in the last round.
Yeah, you said if Velez one of those guys that does the set pieces, he can make a lot of things happen. Highlight real goals, Coach said. Jack Egan does have a big responsibility. He's got to be the lockdown defensive midfielder today. So both of those gentlemen playing different roles in the midfield, but are very important to this team.
Plainview JFK, they're a team 12-1-2 on the season. How about 35 goals for on the season and just 5 against? Outstanding defensive numbers, and as you mentioned, right, a lot of guys. You go to the middle of their park, 3 4-year varsity players. These are guys who have 70 or so varsity games. They've gone deep in the playoffs. They've won a county championship. They lost in a county final. So there's a lot of experience on this Hawks team. So they know how to perform in the biggest moments, and that includes our impact players now for Plainview JFK. And these are two of the better players. In the back, it's Nick Shulashov was so impressed with him last year as just a sophomore, played mature well beyond his years. And Matt Yu is part of that midfield trio that has a ton of experience.
Yeah, Dylan, you know, you have to build a culture of winning. We've said it with a few of these teams in the playoff, and certainly Coach Christine Ho having that work for her team. Yu, a technical player, moves the ball really well. He's going to be a big player there in Shulashav, makes those big stops at big times, both big-time players in big moments.
Yeah, in that midfield, you've got Chris Simonian and Ryan Masidi as well. Really good midfield trio for the Hawks, and they're coming in not only the unfinished business of looking to beat Massapequa and avenge their only loss, but also losing in the county final a year ago as well. So a lot of returning players from that team looking to bounce back and win a county title. Let's take a look at the starters first for Massapequa. The Chiefs in a 4-5-1 formation. You've got a back line of Gavin Meskel, Joe D'Amico, Will Krieg, and Luke Anderson. A couple of fill-ins there. Anderson coming in at right back because of an injury, and we mentioned D'Amico filling in for that red card suspension. In your left to right, Michael Hillis, your left midfielder. We mentioned Egan and Velez. Also, the attacking midfielder, Andreas Efstathiou. Right midfielder, Christian Lopez. And up front, Giuseppe Benanati. 5 goals on the season for the senior. And in the goal, Nick Ambrosio, a guy who has been rock solid for this Massapequa team. 60 saves on the year, 4 goals against as well as 4 clean sheets. He is ready for the moment, really controls his box very, very well.
Yeah, 60 saves is a big number there for only 4 against. It tells you what kind of a team they are defensively. And he's the guy that's going to be making all the big stops in the back.
Let's meet the starters now for Plainview JFK. The Hawks, they come out in a 4-3-3 formation. We've got a back line of Levin, Shulashav, Fiello, and Mitosh. Fiello was a starting D midfielder last year. We mentioned all the experience and tremendous players in the midfield, Simonian, Mazzidi, and Yu. Your left wing, Manny Paolo. Right wing, Ryan Feiner. And up front, Andrew Melville. Only the 1 goal in the year. It's a position where there's been a lot of rotation for Plainview JFK. Where there hasn't been rotation has been in net, where Tommy Petrosaric has been outstanding for Plainview JFK. 42 saves on the season, 4 goals against, and how about 10 clean sheets for Petrosaric?
Yeah, Petrosaric is one of those guys that last year didn't get to play into the playoffs because he suffered a hip injury. So he's got a lot to prove. Another big goalkeeper. We've seen a few guys that can fill the net. He fills it, makes that net look really small out there. 42 saves, only 4 goals. So both keepers only giving up 4 goals on the season. It's going to be a nice head-to-head matchup.
It will be a lot of fun as the players being introduced to the fans right now, and we'll bring in the keys now, Rob, for both of these teams here tonight.
Yeah, pretty simple for Massapequa. Defend those set pieces, especially when Yu is on the ball. Control the midfield as best you can, and they have players capable of that. Capitalize on opportunities. That is what playoffs are all about. For Plainview Old Bethpage JFK, it's control the air game. Win those 50-50s. Try to use their size. Match the physicality that Massapequa brings. We're going to see a lot of action there. And to try to make the speed of play fit their game. Slow Massapequa down. Try to beat them up with using space the right way and finding those holes and creating scoring opportunities.
Yeah, kill with possession. That's what Plainview JFK wants to do here tonight. Winner takes on either Uniondale, kind of an upset team there as well, or Syosset. But coming up next, it's the opening kickoff. It's the Plainview JFK Hawks, the top seed, against 5th-seeded Massapequa. It's all right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Snap more than the ball? We've got specialists for that. Jump shot, leave your knee shot? We've got specialists for that. Face down after that face off? We've got specialists for that. Orlin and Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle, so you can feel better, faster.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Varsity Media is now opening up our schedule to any teams looking to be on a sportscast. Watching yourself on camera is okay, but hearing your name on a Varsity Media sportscast is like you're a pro.
And look at this opportunity. Feldman behind. Jersey pulled. Feldman! Feldman!
Here comes the 1-0. Hit on the ground at first. Quinn's up with it. Feeds to Varela. It's a no-hitter! And Division's moving on. Nassau County AA champions.
As West barks out the signal. West is going to keep it himself inside the 5 to the goal line. Touchdown! Touchdown, Southside.
Varsity Media offers sportscast coverage for any sport, and our coverage airs live and on demand so everyone can watch the game. Now is the time to be a star on Varsity Media. Contact us to book a sportscast today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Back here at Farmingdale State College. A nice ticket to have here tonight, right? Between these two sides, Massapequa, the 5th seed, Plainview, JFK, the top seed. Let's meet the coaches, and there you see Matt Burke from Massapequa, year number 11 for Burke, a 2000 graduate of East Islip High School. What a terrific soccer town Massapequa is, and he has been fortunate to coach some of the best around. You think of Sean Nealis and Dylan Nealis, both currently playing for the Red Bulls in Major League Soccer. Some terrific soccer being played at Massapequa. And for Plainview JFK, their head coach, Christine Ho. How about her 25th season at the helm? An Amityville 1991 graduate. And she has also had tremendous success with the Hawks. Last year, 13-4-2. They lost to East Meadow in the county final. The year before that, 13-3-1. And they beat Oceanside in double overtime for their first county title in 37 years. Your officials for today's game, your referee is Martin Target. Your ARs, Charlie Rothman and Jimmy Memos. And your fourth official is Eric Rubin. Not quite as chilly as it was last night. A comfortable evening here at Farmingdale State College for what should be an intriguing matchup.
Yeah, definitely a little warmer than yesterday, but everybody's still bundled up here. And there's always a stiff breeze on this field. Hasn't affected any of the play that we've seen in the playoffs thus far. And while that flag is blowing out, not too harsh.
Massapequa in all white kits. Plainview JFK in the blues as the fans continue to file in here at Farmingdale State College. And Massapequa gets things going. Long ball over the top, Shulashev, no problem. And Plainview JFK, they look to possess now. Good ball down the left side. That was Matt Yu playing it. Now the Hawks look to attack. Good job defensively forcing the throw. That was number 20, Luke Anderson. Anderson filling in for the injured Brian Rivas. And actually, it's part of the change. Gavin Meskel usually starts at right back. He's over at left back for Rivas. And then Anderson fills in at right back.
Yeah, Anderson doing a nice job forcing that ball down there out. And you started to see that physical play. Jake Egan getting some bodies there.
Long throw there in the near post. Second opportunity is in! But hold on. It is no goal. Martin Target pointing, and I believe he had a foul against Plainview JFK. When we have an opportunity, we'll look to show you the replay of that. But a goal off the board.
Yeah, Plainview JFK getting that pressure there really early in the game and also getting physical back, but maybe a little too physical as we take a look at the play. There's that big throw, massive throw in up in the air, and the foul.
It was on Shulashov.
Yeah, looks like it was Shulashov taking out Will Creek.
Well, that, or he might have also interfered a little bit with Ambrosio.
That could more likely be the call. I feel like, you know, there was some good contact there, but.
Here's Masidi with the long throw on from this side now. And again, some contact in the box. And Ambrosio has no problem with it.
Creek again, the guy spilling out on the turf. Throwing his body around, getting pushed around back there.
50-50 ball in the midfield. That's won by the Chiefs. Now they'll look to possess. Joining the attack was Gavin Mescal from his left back position. And I don't know if it's nerves or just energy, but this game early on, Rob, has a frenetic pace to it, and I think probably, and we mentioned speed of play being a key, right? I think maybe almost even too fast right now for Plainview JFK's liking.
Yeah, I would absolutely say that that is the case. And it's also, Dylan, extremely physical so far. A lot of guys taking some bumps out there. I got the soundtrack in my head. It's like, let the bodies hit the floor. The guys are going down left and right. Have to get Sweeney on a highlight reel.
Ball up the sideline, offside flag was raised. First one of this game.
Well, fast and physical. Both teams want to get out to a big start. And again, maybe that game underneath the lights has both teams saying we don't need to feel each other out.
Will Krieg puts the ball back into play. And Shulashov sends it back to midfield, but only momentarily. And if you had the thought that maybe the team with the most bleach blonde hair has an advantage today, well, then that's favoring the Chiefs. Because there are a good amount of Plainview JFK guys who have that same look, but as you take a look at 7 for Massapequa there, Giuseppe Benanati, this is clearly throughout the entire team, and another foul was called. You get the sense that Martin Target is going to be very, very busy as our head referee tonight.
Yeah, you said it. He's establishing his, you know, the pace that he wants to see out there early on. Every official's got a different strategy and trying to calm it down early.
Mitosh steps up, wins the ball. He was pulled back momentarily. Hard challenge on this near side. That was Joe D'Amico. D'Amico, we mentioned in the beginning, usually the number 6, as that ball just served in. No problem for Ambrosio.
So Matt, you mucking it up over there.
Yeah, these Plainview JFK kids came in highly motivated, and it's the same mentality Massapequa had when they went on the road. And they said, wait a minute, this team's undefeated. No one's, you know, they took that as a challenge. And obviously, 1-0 victors. Throw one on the far sideline. That's Luke Anderson. Christian Lopez pushes it forward. And Plainview JFK comes the other way. That's Connor Fiello Interesting that we have two center backs who both were former CDMs. Off his line was Ambrosio when he read that initial ball over the top. Recovered well, though.
Yeah, Ambrosio caught himself scrambling pretty quickly. I think he thought he might have a challenge on the ball and then realized it was a little tighter than he thought. Gets back, and a good defensive play as well to make that shot fruitless.
This game being played at 100 miles an hour. Some physicality along the end line, goes out for a goal kick for Ambrosio. Senior was really solid at the end of last year, came in as the incumbent and has done a great job. Really good at coming off his line, quick, decisive. And that's what you want as any head coach. You want that decision to be a decisive one. As Plainview JFK looked to possess on the far side, Pequa takes it away.
Yeah, Dylan, you appreciate that in a keeper a lot. You never want them to get caught in the proverbial nowhere land. And Ambrosio does a wonderful job and did it on that last save.
He's also done a much better job this year holding on to balls. And we saw that early on that throw. A year ago, he was a puncher, right? Punched everything out. Worked on that, held on to balls, which, listen, that ends the drama, right? If you punch it out, there's still a lot of more work to do to clear it. As Plainview JFK. Ball curled into the 18, nobody there. There's Matash. Fiello back to Matash. Takes a touch and sends one a little bit to the side of the goal, and it bounces in. It looked to be an own goal as Plainview JFK take the 1-0 lead in the 9th minute.
You said it looks like Manny Paolo as you see that cross. Really great decision there and a great ball. Paolo, it tips in and it does go off the defender. At first, it looked like maybe Matt Yu got a foot on it, but it's an own goal, and Matt Paolo will be credited by putting that thing in front of the net. That's what you got to do. You got to put it in front of the net. And Dylan, you got to keep in mind, one got called back. So they are charging this net hard.
It's an early lead for Plainview JFK, doing something they weren't able to do in their regular season matchup against Massapequa. That one back on September 19th. The Chiefs won that one 1-0, courtesy of a goal by Mateo Fenawaltia. It was a headed goal off of a Luke Gomes corner kick. Matt Yu on the ball. And here come the Hawks for more. Ball shot towards Ambrosio. Nice save for the keeper.
He's seeing a lot of work, and you can see him getting up a little exasperated. That was just a quick strike. Puts himself in a great position to cut off the angle and make the save, but Yu finding a lot of space and green there to get that shot off.
Yeah, Matt Yu, one of those part of a trio of 4-year players in the center of the park for Plainview JFK. Strong technical player as another foul is called. This against Plainview JFK. So a chance perhaps for the Chiefs to settle here, get numbers forward. It's Jeremy Velez on the ball for them. Junior 3-year varsity player. Pumps it into the mix, into the 18, headed away by Shulashov. I would say try not to kick it towards him, but he is everywhere. Good challenge and good win. That was Andrew Melville. Now a foul in midfield against Massapequa.
Yeah, that leg extension there. Tripping up Chris Simonian.
Through ball, and there's Ambrosio again.
Dylan, you said it. I mean, both these teams are fast, but Plainview's like on another gear right now. And most of the scoring, all the scoring opportunities on their side right now. Massapequa's got to try to figure out how to get past this defense.
Yeah, they're like on the Autobahn right now as the offside flag is raised for a second time.
It's Andrew Melville in pursuit. He got a little jumpy there.
You could hear in our headsets, and I'm sure you hear it over the air, the wind, as you mentioned, right, picking up a little bit here at Farmingdale State College. Ambrosio sends it up, 50-50. Still battle for. Pequa players wanted the free kick, wasn't given. Entry into the box. And again, a clearance. Throw in for the Chiefs. Anderson to do so. And it will go out for a goal kick. Substitution for Plainview JFK. And we'll see this a lot. We just saw Melville come out. And now checking in another forward. It's a position where they haven't locked it down. So just a bunch of different guys looking to spread out that 80 minutes. Eric Stolak is the substitution in.
And there's going to be another free kick now for Plainview. So we haven't seen Tommy Petrosoric challenged yet down there. They are brought one potential move.
Oh, off the chest. What a beautiful ball. But the shot really never materialized, but that was Fiello getting up into the play.
Scooped up by number 1.
Yeah, that ball just took a weird bounce on him, and he tried to do a little Kung Fu Panda on it and couldn't get it in there, but a heck of a play. And you could see how they could extend the field and create space behind this defense quickly with the speed.
And early on, you can see it's no nonsense from the back. They can possess it out of the back, but they're just looking to push it forward as quickly as they can. Throw in for Plainview JFK. The Hawks, the top seed in Nassau AAA. Dave Levin, senior left back. Now a chase for the ball. There's Fiello on it. Plays it back to Shulashov. Smart play. Shulashov up the far sideline. Hard challenge and a good one by Anderson, and it goes out of touch.
One of the things you got to love about Fiello, and again, we talk about IQ and things like that, he just makes very good decisions on the field, sees it really well. Like those are the little plays that make a big difference in games.
He's a guy who's been all over the park in his Plainview JFK career. Freshman year was an outside back. Played defensive midfielder a year ago as well. Throwing for the Chiefs. Shulashov clears it to that far touchline. And the offside flag is raised again. Third time in the opening 16 minutes, the Hawks have been offside.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know how you feel about it, but I wouldn't be mad at that right now with the 1-0. They're aggressive, and they're being assertive. I don't think it's like killing major scoring opportunities, but it's definitely keeping Massapequa on notice. And it doesn't look like the Chiefs are pulling a trap. I think it's just an aggressive Plainview team.
Yeah, 100%. I think if I'm Christine, I like that. If I'm Christine Ho, I'm like, keep going. Keep being aggressive.
Because all it takes is one out of like 5 or 6 to make this game get tilted quickly.
And there's a look at Plainview JFK's longtime head coach, Christine Ho. And you can see her put those hands down, right? Let's calm it down. So I think even this pace is too fast for her liking. She wants to pump the brakes a little bit.
Well, she's brought him here. She knows what she's doing. Like you said, 25 years on the job. Absolutely incredible. A couple of us old-timers still sticking around, been in the rooms together for a while.
Outside of the left foot, and again, Ambrosio, almost like sweeper-keeper-esque, and how quick he's able to get off his line and clear that ball.
Clear that ball for like 70 yards. That was some kick.
Own goal, the difference right now, as Plainview JFK has a 1-0 lead. Loose ball in midfield. Goes to the Chiefs. They'll work it to this side. I don't know how many times you can say a team has had multiple passes, as that's just a shot that will roll towards goal. No problem making the save as Matteo Feno-Altia in. And he's a different type of forward, right, than Beninati. He's that top off the, he's a speedster, right? He's also the guy that would press high and just kind of be a pest out there.
Now they get their first shot on net, first save from Petrosuric. And maybe Massapequa could start generating something offensively now that they found a way to get that ball through.
And again, it was him who scored that lone goal that night out in Plainview JFK. Multiple subs for the Hawks.
Another luxury when you have a program that's so good, when you can sub out so many guys, keep them fresh. That's how you maintain that pace throughout an entire game.
Well played on the ground by Egan, but picked off well. And again, it's Fiello. He will log a lot of miles tonight. Ball clipped into the air. And there's the no-nonsense clearance well up the field. Battle for it. And D'Amico wins the throw-in. D'Amico, Matt Burke says, is like a deer. Big kid, just loves to get out there and run. Hard challenges, and finally Shulashov. He was frustrated for a moment because he got fouled about 3 times, but he does earn the free kick.
Yeah, it was a really good call there as Jake Egan just got a little too aggressive. And honestly, a foul you'll take all day because it looked like he was starting to create some space.
It's played quickly to Masidi. Puts his arm up, serves it. The attempt, I think, was back post. Instead, it went near side and out for really no issue.
Goal kick by number 1, Nicholas Ambrosio. We are now
as Ambrosio halfway through this really fast-moving first half.
Yeah, you said it. The pace is still pretty quick out there. Ambrosio had a lot of work early on, and And his team's starting to settle down in that middle.
Fiello, and now Plainview looks to play a little bit. Nice interception, at least momentarily, by Simonian. And all those guys in the middle of the park, they're interchangeable. Simonian a year ago was an attacking midfielder, as the Hawks now have the ball down the right side, or their left side. Clearance by Anderson.
This throw in for
And Masidi
13, Ryan
to throw the ball in. He will back up several lanes into that track. Hold the phone though. As referee Martin Target having a conversation between Shulashev and Will Krieg.
And they were playing very physical on Krieg every single one of their challenges. So I'm sure he's just saying, hey, boys, keep it calm.
Masidi getting a hand loose. Shulashev unable, though, to get a touch. Possession stays with the Hawks. 50-50 challenge. And we're going to the corner flag. First corner of the match for either team.
That was a big stretch there by Ambrosio to make that save. Afterwards, he was touching his toes a little bit, stretching out.
substitution on the field for.
And it will be Masidi to take this one. Expect an in-swinger. Look out for number 5, Shulashev.
This will be a corner kick for Plainview.
Terrific header of the ball. And his battle with Krieg will continue. Served in, Shulashev! Saved by Ambrosio.
Where did he come from? That was cat-like. He jumped out to make the initial save and then found his way back in the net to scoop it up a second time. A phenomenal display of athleticism there by Ambrosio.
And there he is again. Sends it high into the sky. Fiello. Plainview JFK throw.
It's thrown by number 2, David.
Switch for the Hawks. Matash plays it forward. Trying to take a settling touch was Egan. And here comes Fiello the other way. Fiello! Again, doesn't get full service on that one. Rolls it right in to Ambrosio.
Ambrosio.
5th save of this first half for Ambrosio.
Yeah, you also see it from Ambrosio. A couple of like the small things too that you want from a keeper. Never mind decisive. He's got those quick kicks too and can send the ball down the field pretty quickly, and pretty far.
It was interesting in the quarterfinal rounds when the game went to PKs. It actually
This thrown by number
wasn't
13,
Ambrosio
Ryan
in the net. It was Phil Fiorentino, who is a better shot stopper. So he comes in for that shootout against Port, saves the 5th penalty.
Throwing for Massapequa,
5-4 was the
number
difference in that
11,
one.
Gavin Meskel.
This will be a throw-in for Plainview JFK. Matash leaves it for Masidi.
Number 13, Ryan Masidi on the throw in for Plainview.
Up the near sideline. There's a battle for the ball. And Plainview winning more of these 50-50 balls. Or the second balls, right, that fall out. And just trying to alleviate some pressure. Chiefs on the long ball down the field. Read and sniffed out so well by one of the best center backs in Nassau County, Nick Shulashov. Another ball behind. The offside flag is raised again.
Another big thing that Plainview's got is you got Masidi on one side, Levin on the other. They both have pretty big throws. Masidi a little more of a line drive, but Levin can get that thing real deep. We saw it on the scoring opportunity. But a lot of weapons for this Plainview team. They come at you from a lot of different angles, and the speed has not stopped this entire game, and we're almost 27 minutes in.
And even their goal scoring, it comes from a lot of different positions. It's not necessarily really the forward position. Right, Fiello out of the center back, he's got 5 goals. Matash has 5 goals. Masidi's got 4. Matty Hughes got 7. So if you are rotating forwards and if you haven't really found that click at the number 9 position, that's fine for Plainview JFK because you're getting contributions from throughout your lineup.
Well, and it was Manny Paolo who got on the score sheet, so add him to the list now, right, for tonight.
Matt Yu is over the ball and it goes out for a Pequa throw. It is Anderson to do so. Right by the scorer's table. And there's an injured Pequa player down as the clock stops. As I think it might have been a clash of heads. And you saw getting up quickly was Benonati. So good to see that he's all right. It's a throw for Plainview JFK. Long ball over the top. Benonati chases it down. Slide tackle. Pequa fans want a foul, none given. The Chiefs looking to possess in these short spaces. Shot attempt, that was blocked. Luke Gomes with the shot. And only the second shot. And there is the safety valve that is Nick Ambrosio.
He's so much fun to watch play, and you can see how Plainview can score from different ways. They can build, or they can do the old kick and run, and they can fly up top.
And now you're starting to see Massapequa possess the ball a little bit, and they look like they're playing themselves into a nice rhythm.
Again, a little closer and closer, pushing their way up the field in inches. Now they just got to try to get past that defense.
Again, that's easier said than done. Their goal they scored was only 1 of 5 conceded by Plainview JFK. Foul called on the Chiefs in midfield.
There's Jake Egan again. I believe it's his 3rd foul of the game. Hard tackle there.
Yeah, there's 5 total fouls for Pequa, 2 against Plainview JFK. This clipped into the edge of the 18, or just inside the 18. Matash tried to get back in there, and there's Ambrosio again. And to those who don't think Ambrosio is a good shot stopper, well, made a point-blank save in the second overtime against Port. He doesn't do that. It's Port Washington back here. And it's a throw-in for Massapequa. Final 10 minutes as we await the substitution, Rob. Let's take a look at the brackets and how these teams got here. it is not your traditional 1 through 4, and that speaks, I think, to the parity in Class AAA this year.
Yeah, you can see there a lot of one-goal games. Plainview, JFK getting past Farmingdale, Port, Washington, and Massapequa go to OT. Massapequa the winner there. Oceanside getting bumped by Uniondale. And Uniondale's one of the big threats in this one. We said the wild card. They got so much talent on that team.
They do. That talent is healthy now for Cohen Nelson, the Uniondale head coach. And also, they've played 2 playoff games before the actual playoffs even began. They needed to have wins late against Syosset as a last-ditch challenge, a necessary one, slide tackle, and a great job by Jack Egan. And then they beat Herrick's to clinch their spot into the playoffs. A loss or a tie in either of those games, Uniondale's not in this postseason. And another mistimed run for Plainview JFK. The 5th offside.
You got the unsportsmanlike there for booting it after the whistle, way after the whistle, and kicking it onto the track. So we've got a yellow card assessed.
No yellow cards assessed against Massapequa.
And I think of all the type of cards you can get, that's the most unnecessary.
And the one that gets coaches.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it blows your mind because, I mean, you're in the driver's seat. You had an opportunity. You're offside. Let it. You know better.
Like if you get on a slide tackle, you're being aggressive, okay, we get it. If there's a scoring chance and you need to stop that, okay, fine. Even talking, it's an emotional game, right? You get frustrated, but that's one where just leave the ball.
And your officials got to call that in a game like this.
Ball over the top, and now it's a foot race. Hard challenge. And this will go Plainview JFK's way. And we mentioned it before. Reminder coming up next, 8:30 tonight. It is Uniondale, the 7th seed against Syosset. The only loss for Syosset this year came, yes, to Uniondale. And Syosset coming off their first playoff win in a couple years as well. So they got that monkey off their back. Should be a lot of fun tonight at 8:30.
Another great coach there, Brett Waxer.
And if that game matches somehow or comes close to matching the nightcap last night, oh my goodness. Jericho, Glen Cove. They're even coming in here for a different classification. There was still a buzz about that game.
I got so many text messages from players, coaches. I mean, it was one for the history books there. That's going to be a hard final. Garden City and Glen Cove battle out to see who the real GC is.
Ambrosio the punts.
Those playoffs have been nothing shy of great.
100%. I was about to say there was a stretch here about 3 minutes ago where Massapequa started putting passes together and they started winning possession. As a wag of the hand after the slide tackle win by Jack Egan. He was right on both accounts. But it felt like I said, about 3 minutes ago that maybe they started getting to a rhythm, but then Plainview JFK took it right back.
Egan, another player that just your eyes are drawn to him out on the field. He's very physical, makes a lot of tough plays, and almost every time there's a big defensive play from Massapequa, it seems like that's the name you're calling out, number 10.
CD again on the throw. He'll get one more because that one was headed out of play by Luke Gomes. Gomes was the one who had the assist on that winning goal, scored by Fennel Altia in that regular season contest.
Yeah, just a sophomore, and he was a question mark if he was going to play today, but out on the field now, looking healthy.
Foul against Plainview JFK. as Jimmy Memos, this near side AR, raises flag.
Speaking of memos, you think the memo went out to call this one tight because they knew it was going to be physical?
I think you have to, right? Just like ideally you want to have teams play, right? But look at that work. Like David, no, it was 18. It was David Diacono, right? Just kind of just going at guys.
I was going to say, you look like he stepped on Gomes on the way out. Still playing tough.
Number 13 on the throw in Ryan, the city.
And you plays it back. And now Shulashov. They'll switch the field to the left side. And it's funny, you're right. Like we're watching this play out. And again, if that ball made contact over the back, Plainview JFK would have been offside again. Like it's not a trap by the Chiefs defensively. It's just that the attacking players are running so fast.
And it does come a point where you get a little aggravated with it if you're a coach. Like it's great to see them aggressive and they are creating opportunities. The opportunities slowing down a little bit. So second half, just try to calm down that offense from jumping a little bit, and they can make good things happen. But they're on the board, 1-0 so far.
That's a nice touch, and there it is again. At this point, Jimmy Memos' right arm might be pretty sore by the end of this one. The 6th time he's had to raise his flag in this first half. And in high school soccer, you guys don't keep this kind of stat as now a foul called against Pequa. But like aerial duels and like Shulashov's percentage would be through the roof.
Yeah, he can win those balls up in the air, and something Massapequa, wants to challenge. Something Coach Christine Ho said was, on her side. Felt like she can win those balls in the air, and he's the reason why.
Masidi drives it to the opposite sideline, intercepted. And now the Chiefs maybe could have a chance here for a counter. They'll work the ball up the far sideline. Good slide tackle put on, and just like that, the Hawks take the ball back. Petrosoric hasn't had a lot to do, so now he'll get a touch. And it's Masidi sprinting forward. Hard challenge in the midfield. That was Gavin Meskel. Another battle. Shulashov will win those 9 out of 10 times.
Meskel, a guy that Coach said can make deep runs out of the back. He's a physical player. He's quick, and we haven't said his name too much, but he's getting involved in a lot of plays. So he, Anderson, Egan, names we've, going to be looking out for here defensively. All of them doing a really nice job so far.
And Meskel has already placed his imprint on this postseason for Massapequa. Scored the decisive PK against Port. Went right up to Coach Matt Burke after and said, "Thank you so much for trusting me."
Gotta love it.
Double team there was Feo Altia. Goes down, no foul called. And you feel for referee Martin Target because it's one of those, almost like in football, like you can have holding, I feel like, or a penalty in any play. Same is true here. It feels like there's so much shirt pulling, and now a card is given. And the clock should have stopped. I'm not sure Martin Target realizes that it hasn't, so he'll cross the arms over his head, and this card perhaps for dissent against Benonati.
The second card assessed, and you actually had said that, the heated words are something maybe you could understand, but you got that pink band around your sleeve. You got to make sure that you're speaking to the officials.
So they'll look to put 58 seconds up on the clock.
So tough, 2 cards right now. And what you're saying about those hard fouls where he's got his work cut out for him, they also look at advantage quite a bit too there. And Massapequa had the ball on their feet with the advantage in a scoring situation, so he's not going to call that foul.
And I think one thing, the foul du jour, if you will, here today, it feels like a lot of shirt pulling on both sides, not on one or the other, but that seems to be the foul that's called more often than not. So we've had a booking for both sides as well. And Masidi puts this one back into play. Final 25 seconds of this first half. Plainview JFK got their goal early. An own goal. And Massapequa really hasn't had a real quality chance to level. Maybe it'll be from distance. That one will roll towards the edge of the 18. Still loose, and that will do it for a frenetic first half. The difference, that came early on as some pressure on the goal. You see the service coming in by Matash. And Plainview JFK. Ball headed at the back post. And then an unfortunate own goal for Massapequa. The difference right now in this Nassau AAA semifinal. It's Plainview JFK with a 1-0 lead. You're watching it all right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Thank you for watching Varsity Media, the leaders in New York high school sports coverage.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so you're here watching the Varsity Media halftime report throughout the playoffs. I'm joined by State Representative, the big man, and the color analyst, Al Freeman, and also by Mr. Instagram, the Instagram man, and head coach at Oyster Bay, Brian Donahue. Al, let's start out with you. The playoffs, an exciting time of year. What's Nassau bringing?
NASA's bringing a very competitive set of classification playoffs, Brian and Rob. It's incredible. We've already started, and we've had some upsets in AAA, and today there's going to be some single A games, and I wouldn't bet against anybody winning each individual game today because it's that competitive.
Again, I'm going to piggyback on what Al said. You know, not only have we had an incredibly tight and awesome playoff games, right? We had a couple of OT games already. We've had a PK shootout already, but that is coming off the heels of a very competitive regular season. Out of our 7 conferences, only one of them, which is the AAAs, came down to crowning champions on the last day of the season. And even in the AAAs, this was a conference that was battling out for the number 2 and the number 3 seed on the last day of the season. So, you know, we've gotten Nassau soccer to a point where literally every single one of our leagues is very, very competitive. And there are some top-notch, high-level competitors sitting in these conferences. So as we go through, you know, we look at guys like Miles Watson in Garden City with 24 regular season goals. You know, he's a guy who can dominate a game. And for those of the guys out there who watch my Sunday night podcasts, I've been saying all along, a team like Glen Cove, you can't sleep on someone like Henry Hernandez. And when we saw him play his game last time, he scored 4 goals in a playoff game to push Glen Cove through. And then someone like AJ Galino for Plainage down in the A's, you know, he's seemingly been a Newsday top 100 player for the last 4 years. You know, I'm looking for someone like him to now go and dominate in a playoff game and now try and push that Plainage through. And then if you look at the Bees, you know, you have Carl Place with their 2-headed monster of Leary and Jason Pereira in the midfield, both of them were all-state players. And, we still haven't figured out a time when a team brought back 2 all-state players. And Ryan Leary has the possibility of being a 3-time all-state player.
And the best thing about having you, Brian, is that the Instagram has put out a great product, getting Nassau County soccer to all the athletes. Varsity Media also this year doing a huge job with 12 games, 18 different teams, and then the generosity of Orlin and Cohen to make these playoffs free for all the parents and athletes in Nassau County. It's an amazing opportunity, and both of you have been a part of it as far as broadcasters. Just maybe a little quick, Al, your broadcasting experience, any highlights from the games you got to work with?
Well, first of all, I think it starts with the tremendous legwork that's done by both Dylan and John in getting information from the 2 teams and getting the coaches to open up. The information that they brought in really enhanced the broadcast and made the players and the coaches come alive to the audience.
I like seeing the other side of it, and it's a lot harder than it looks. For everyone out there who wants to think about getting into this side, it's so much harder than it looks. And, for me, I think it's starting to make me a better coach. I get to see a lot more teams than just my team and the few teams in Conference B, going to see all these teams on these other fields and trying to break down their games from now a color analyst perspective. It's putting the whole perspective of coaching in a different light.
For your coverage of the states and the playoffs in general, tell everybody about what they're going to get on Instagram, where they find you, and how they can get in touch.
So you can go to Nassau Soccer on Instagram, and, I'm going to be at all of the games going forward, as many as I can. I can't take half days from work as much as I would love to. We have games, kicking off at 2:00 in these quarterfinals, semifinal games. I will be at every semifinal and final game going forward. I'll be at every Long Island Championship game going forward. And every one of Nassau County teams that go forward from the Long Island Championship, I'll be going up to the state games. I'll be up there. Send me clips, send me information about your players. And, all we care about on the Nassau Soccer Instagram page is promoting our teams and our players. And it's all about positivity in that community that we're creating there.
And nobody does it better, Bryce. So Nassau County's got a ton of great people working behind the scenes. Al Freeman, one of them. Thanks, Al, Brian. Awesome stuff, folks. You're watching All the Playoffs, sponsored by Orlin and Cohen for free here on the Varsity Media Network. Get ready for the second half and enjoy some playoff soccer.
Hi, I'm Dr. Craig Levitz, and I'm the Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Orlin and Cohen Orthopedics and the Head of Sports Medicine at Northwell Health. With the playoffs coming around, this is the prime time of year for significant shoulder injuries. And the most common injury that we see in soccer players is subluxation of the shoulders. They take a hit or they fall on their shoulder and their shoulder slides out of the socket. And for most of us, we don't think that's a big deal because it just feels like a little nothing when it happens. You feel good afterwards and you're right back out there. But often when that happens, you can tear your labrum. And those are the ligaments that stabilize the shoulder. And with repetitive subluxations or dislocations or repetitive trauma to the shoulder, it can lead to surgery. So it's very important to address this when it happens and make sure you're not going right back out there before understanding the injury, because it can feel okay, obviously, until you get hit there again, until it falls again, and then you start doing permanent damage. It's very rare an initial injury does permanent damage. It's only when you continue to play through it and neglect it that the permanent damage occurs, and that almost always leads to surgical intervention to repair the ligaments. The best way to diagnose it or know is your history itself. Most athletes know when their shoulder slid and they just don't know what that was. They don't know what happened or what it was, but that is a strong situation to make sure you bring to the attention of your athletic trainer and definitely get checked out by an orthopedic surgeon. Unlike when I was a kid, we have MRIs readily available, and the best way to determine if you can play the next day or right away is to get an MRI right away. It's very easy for a doctor to say, take 4 weeks off and let's see how you do and get you back out there. The problem is that's half the season in high school. So we treat our high school athletes like professional athletes and try to get an MRI within 24 to 48 hours of their injury. So if it's nothing significant, they can get into therapy and be back playing by the weekend. We take pride in getting our athletes back as soon as it's possible and is when it's safe as possible. And the best way to do that is with early intervention, early examination by a physician, athletic training team, and getting an MRI as soon as possible to ascertain the exact diagnosis. Unfortunately, with repetitive dislocations, it does require surgery. Fortunately, most of the time athletes can finish the year out, but we don't want this to become a lifelong problem and highly recommend surgery after the seasons. But in today's technology, it's all done through the camera, and I'd say 98% of our patients are back at the same level they were before in a few short months back to playing. The only thing that might be a little bit difficult would be a throw-in the first couple of months, but generally soccer as a whole is well tolerated and a quick recovery. The only problem is when we neglect these injuries, small, simple injuries that could have been handled with a good rehab program and physical therapy turn into surgical problems and permanent damage to the ligaments and bones that now require more extensive surgeries. And that's what we want to do with early intervention, is avoid those issues.
Back here at Farmingdale State College, Dylan Butler, Rob Anderson, our entire varsity media crew. Halftime here of the first of two Nassau AAA semifinals, and it's top-seeded Plainview JFK with a 1-0 lead over Massapequa. Rob, let's take a look at some of those first half stats.
Yeah, you can take a look here. Obviously, the most important one is the 1-0. Plainview, Obeth Page out shooting Massapequa 6-2. It's 5 saves to 1. Only 1 corner kick so far, so the ball staying on the field. 7 fouls apiece, but the big number there, though, 6 offside by Plainview, Obeth Page. Probably want to settle that down in the second half, and they can create some noise. Dylan, we spoke about it too. Massapequa with the fouls. Just got to slow that down too. You don't want to put Plainview too close in the area of scoring a goal, no matter how good Ambrosio has been so far.
I'd ask you to put your coaching cap on now. If you're Massapequa, how do you unlock that Plainview JFK back line and get a quality shot on frame?
We spoke about, I think you got to play that ball wide. You can't play it up the middle. Like you pointed out, you can't put it in the air. That's going to be an impossible feat. Ambrosio making a nice little save there. They got to keep the ball on the ground. Try to open it up. Look for a cross, because driving it up the middle is an exercise in futility. So it's going to be a possession game, and we kind of knew that going into it.
And it really kind of feels like it doesn't appear that back line of Plainview JFK, they're not going to seemingly make a mistake, right? So I feel like it almost has to come off a set piece, right? Like you win a corner and you win a free kick. As Ambrosio puts it back in, Shulashov, another one header. Now the Chiefs on the ground, and there's a clearance. And that back line, we should mention them again. You got Levin as your left back, Shulashov and Fiello, your center backs. Natash as your right back, but also, you got to also credit the number 6 as well, Chris Simonian, just clearing everything up in the midfield as well.
Yeah, it's a very difficult group to get behind, and when you talk about a guy like the guys like Shulashov and Fiello, it's almost unfair because they can probably play anywhere on the field. They have great feet, good decision making, and Shulashov in the air, good luck. Maybe taking some shots from the outside too. The crosses, I don't know, it looks like they're sucking them up like vacuum cleaners every time.
That attempted cross blocked, and another throw, and this one will be corner kick-esque with Masidi.
This throw in by number 13, Ryan Masidi.
I'll go about as deep as he can. And now Masidi. It's loose. Shulashov was one of the ones in there. And if you're a coach, it's like your heart is in your throat when you see Ambrosio come off his line but not come up with the ball.
Especially up against a big guy like Shulashov, who we've pointed out a few times is just so good up in the air. Big body.
There he is again. And I thought last year he was one of the best center backs I saw, and he was a sophomore, which is scary to think.
I'd agree with you 100%. That was a name we said a lot last year.
Yeah. Massapequa throw from the far sideline. An own goal, the difference between these two.
Just you saying he was a sophomore last year, it's unfair he's a junior. You know, like another year with this guy back there. It's like Ryan Leary. We talk about him all the time. Like, he doesn't get old. It's like Peter Pan out there. On varsity since like 8th grade.
Good save on that far sideline. But Plainview JFK comes away with it, at least momentarily. And that will go out for a corner. And again, look out for 5 in blue. He'll join the attack. He's getting there at the top of the 18 right now.
11, the lone defender back there.
He'll get reacquainted, Chulashov will, with Krieg.
This corner kick by number 11.
Doesn't clear that first post. And it will go out for a corner. For a throw-in for Plainview JFK.
Ryan City with the throw-in for Plainview.
Yeah, Plainview JFK 12-1-2 on the season. They're only lost to Massapequa at home, 1-0. Chulashov! He wins everything in the air, and he's given Plainview JFK the 2-0 lead.
Ian carries his players in the air. We'll take another look. This was the theme. We said it. The big throw, Masidi. Massive throw. Chulashov, big enough already. A beautiful header. He's got to be practicing those things all year long. A gorgeous goal. Ambrosio didn't have a shot at it. It didn't even budge. It was such a bang-bang play. But the big throw, the big header, the narrative throughout the second half. And it's Plainview up 2-0.
And it feels like there's another card, and that one against Krieg for dissent. Excuse me. Was it 14? It was, right?
Yes. So 2 cards against Massapequa for dissent, and you know, you don't want the wheels falling off emotionally at this point. 2-0 does feel like a much different game the way this defense has been playing for Plainview JFK.
Well, the task at hand now for Massapequa, think about this. They've got to score 3 to win, right? Plainview JFK has only conceded 5 goals all year.
Yeah.
So the numbers game not favoring the Chiefs. And you got to wonder if that dissent. And listen, Krieg was the guy trying to mark Chulashov, right? So did Chulashov pull off? And look, there's always going to be jockeying for position in the 18. That's the nature of the game.
Jockeying for position, but when a guy's got a 2-foot vertical, he wins.
So a big mountain now to climb for Massapequa. Has been a roller coaster type of season for the Chiefs. They've had some good losses, good wins. They've had some tough losses. They've beaten themselves sometimes, says their head coach, Matt Burke. But they came into the postseason playing their best soccer. And as daunting a task as it might be to try to get 3 goals, the mantra or the motto's just got to be just 1 at a time. Let's get 1 and go from there.
Right now, Dylan, they have 1 shot, and it was a roller. Petra Surik, kind of a day at the park, you know. He's got that tremendous defense in front of him. So it's not just they got to create these opportunities. Just any shots they can get, they've got to take when they get space. The problem is getting space.
And it's funny because it is a really wide field, but it doesn't feel like it, right? From Massapequa, it feels like it's a bandbox. Throwing for the Chiefs from this near sideline.
Number 20 on the throw.
And I think it's how quickly Plainview JFK collectively closed things down. A long ball over to the top. Ambrosini thought about it for a moment. Takes the headed ball back to him and gets a really nice punt out. That was a good 55 yards up the field.
He's got a boot.
And that's a foul called against Anderson. And when you think of playing your best soccer at the right time, Plainview JFK has done the same, really. I mean, they've been super consistent throughout as they'll win another corner. And again, keep an eye out for number 5 in blue.
Substitution on the field for Plainview.
So a few substitutions there for Plainview JFK. He's trying to set up another scoring opportunity and make this thing feel insurmountable.
Service, back post. Header won by Massapequa just momentarily. Nice shot, and that would have been offside. The flag was raised as Manny Paolo wouldn't have counted even if it landed. But you follow up that 1-0 loss at home to Massapequa, then you beat Comac 1-0. You beat Hicksville 2-0. You beat Academy Charter 7-0. A 1-1 tie against Syosset. And then shutouts against Uniondale, Herricks, Freeport, and Farmingdale.
That Comac, a non-league game, that's a tough matchup. You're thinking playoffs when you set that one up.
And your last 2 wins to close out the regular season at Freeport and quarterfinal win against Farmingdale, both 1-0s. In that game against the Dalers, they came in as a number 9 seed. Plainview JFK, it was Manny Paolo scoring off the assist by Ryan Atash as ball sent cleared. That was with about 18 minutes left. Petrosoric 4 saves for the clean sheet as it appears like it. There was rain in the forecast.
Another throw in for.
I think it might be starting a little bit here.
Substitution on the field for both teams.
And there you see back into the game, Will Krieg.
Number 11 on the throw-in, Gavin.
Also plays lacrosse in the spring. Manny Paolo leaves it.
On this throw-in.
Another shirt pull that it would appear against Plainview JFK. And I started to think actually by watching a little bit what Massapequa did there, that might also be part of what you've got to do, right? And like have a bunch of numbers around the ball.
Yeah, get in there tight, try to, again, use their physicality and maybe draw some of these fouls. And again, it's inches. They're inching their way up the field. But now an opportunity to move it pretty far.
Speaking of inching it up the field, that is literally the case for Velez. It's it high into the air, and the first time really Petrosoric was even challenged.
Yep, you said it. It's the second shot of the game, and when you got a guy who's well over 6 foot there, going to read that one from far away. You can see out over everybody's head.
And now, perhaps out of necessity, although they did a good job of it in the first matchup, pressing high, that's what the Chiefs are looking to do here. And that perhaps the other formula, right? maybe press and win it high and then get a quick opportunity. It's worked for the Nealis boys and the Red Bulls for years. That shot blocked. Fighting his way through. What an effort put forth by Feno Altia. In fact, the Nealis boys currently have a playoff game tonight.
Oh, they do. It's set
Red
Tuesday.
Bulls playing Columbus Crew. Game 1 of a best-of-3 series. That out at lower.com Fields in downtown Columbus.
You impress me every time, I got to say. You know the name of the field in Columbus? I know Farmingdale. Jericho High School. Mitchell Field.
It is part of the job, as they say. Back heel. Some clever combinations for Plainview JFK, at least temporarily. Offside flag this time does not raise. And a good job just shepherding that ball out by Gavin Mescal. Mescal a year ago was a winger, good speed up and down the flank. Became the right back, and as you mentioned, because of an injury, and an unfortunate one as well to Brian Rivas. Now you had to move around the backfield if you're Matt Burke. So Mescal goes from right back to left back, and Luke Anderson slots in at right back. And we certainly feel for Brian Rivas. He was pulled up as a 9th grader, played really great, had an ACL injury as a sophomore, missed the entire year, rehabbed his way back, grinded it out, and then the same knee a year later, another ACL injury as Shulashov sends it out to the midfield. And again, rehabbed and fought his way back to get in the field. And another knee injury right now has kept him out of this one.
Yeah, you hate it when you see guys that, are making a difference on the field, and then you get to the big spot and they're unable to play. You hope that your team pushes through and gets to the next round. Sometimes health can improve. We said Miles Watson we talked about with Garden City. Should be playing in the next game, the big one.
And that's the same thing that Leandro de Cuba is hoping, right? The star center back for Massapequa received a dog-so red, denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. Get to that in a moment. An opportunity in the box. That one was blocked. And that reduced Massapequa to 10 men. They rallied and won on PKs, but de Cuba's sitting out that 1-game suspension for the Red. And as you would suspect, right, from a senior, absolutely gutted after that, thought perhaps he's played his last game. Plainview looking to find one more goal here. That was more of a cross than a shot by Manny Paolo. And Manny Paolo's a guy, too, has been locked in the last half of the season. True lefty for Plainview. Probably not the fastest, right? But he's the guy who scored, we mentioned, the game winner against Farmingdale. He finds a way to get into those winning positions, right, into the box. Massapequa trying to possess the ball in front of their own bench. It has been tough sledding for the Chiefs. You mentioned 2 shots and really just one coming close to challenging Petrosarek, and that was that long distance free kick just a few moments ago.
Yeah, Coach Matt Burke, I mean, there's a little under 25 minutes remaining. Coach Matt Burke knows he's got a team that that's going to bring it. They're gritty and they're tough. They just got to figure out how to get past that defense, and it is, I don't know. It's not fun.
Ball sent towards the near post. Cleared back up the middle of the field. And the middle of the field is where, for the most part, Rob, Plainview has dominated. And again, you look at those guys in the middle of the park, right? A Simonian, a Masidi, a Yu. All 3 four-year varsity players, all technical players, and they really work well together.
And you're 100% right, Dylan, and that's the key to it. They are very technical and have the ability for those explosive plays, but it's more of a technical building from the back, finding their way up the middle of the field, and then look for the opportunities. You know, they don't have a ton of numbers up there.
Advantage played as Plainview. That's a great ball. Paulo! The volley off the mark, though.
A valiant effort there. Beautiful cross. And it goes wide. So now a chance for Massapequa to try to recollect, move that ball up the field as quickly as they possibly can.
Foul called at midfield. Manny Paolo takes it down with his left. Plays it quickly. Here's Fiello, who has seemingly been all over the field. Good service. And nearly another own goal against the Chiefs. It will, though, be a corner kick for Plainview JFK.
And you see that look on the goalkeeper's face, man. They're just like, Ambrose just like, oh, man, come on. Guys, I need as much help as you can give me at this point. Down 2-0, an own goal already, and a gorgeous header, and now setting up the corner kick.
Masidi to take the corner. Back stick. And it goes out for a goal kick. Again, next up, it's game 2. That'll be 8:30 tonight. Uniondale and Syosset. Don't look at those numbers, so seeds, and think this is going to be a lopsided game. That will likely also be decided by the slimmest of margins. It was a 1-goal win for Uniondale. The only loss on the season for Syosset. And Brett Waxer said he considered it a good loss. That late season, late regular season game where you coaches know, you learn a lot more, or it becomes more real what you are doing wrong when it comes with an L at the end of it. So they went back to the lab, they figured things out. Ball served across, and Paulo just there but unable to get a touch. And for Uniondale, that was, again, part of their early playoffs. Cohen Nelson said every game from that game, which they won, is a final for them. So they are now 3-0 in finals going into this one. Hard challenge at midfield. And now the Chiefs look to move the ball up this near sideline. That's Luke Gomes, 4, who played it across. They win the ball in the midfield. An ambitious effort goes over the net. Got a lot of action tomorrow as well, as we will literally switch. This has been our home base, Farmingdale State, but we head to Jericho High School for the A's, and those are 2 interesting matchups as well. Mineola Lawrence, that's only a rematch of last year's county final. That's the early game, and then Floral Park and North Shore later on. Those seeds have held true.
Yep.
The 1-4 and the 2-3.
I was actually going to make a point about the seeds. It was I got to talk to Al Freeman, one of our broadcasters and a state rep for Nassau County, about after that Glen Cove game. And he said, it's so tight, most of the time he could throw those seeds out the window.
Not offside here. There's a ball served across. And again, Plainview JFK so close to that third goal. When you think about the way that this season started for Plainview JFK, how about a 5-1 win at Glen Cove? Yeah. We saw Glen Cove last night push themselves into another county final against Garden City.
But I think,
granted, that was a few months ago.
Yeah, and that's why their seeding a lot of time is where it is. They sometimes slow starts for Glen Cove, and then they just figure it out. They get it going, and they're on fire now. It's all about momentum. You know, you got teams that are going to pick it up, and these teams just have a ridiculous amount of talent, like Uniondale's, like Glen Cove. I mean, they're on, and they just gather it together once they collect themselves and do a lot of damage.
And last year, the seed for Glen Cove was 11. And they beat Jericho in the quarters. They reached the semis before their season ended against Garden City. Now those two teams will meet again in the final.
I think you said like the single A's had stayed true, but even Lawrence out of 4 seems like it's far for them. They could be a 1 on any given day.
Yeah, last year they pulled off the upset, right? They beat Floral Park in the semifinals.
And then it was Mineola representing Nassau in the States.
I love that effort by Gomes. He wasn't conceding anything at that corner flag, even though Shulashov was the guy who was there. And to that point, the effort has been there, right, for the Chiefs. There's no question. It's just in key spots, the execution has lacked. Another ball on the turf. Crafty. Right, that's a guy who's played a lot of soccer, knew exactly what to do there with Fiello.
Coming up on number 1, Thomas Mazzora.
Okay, the wind picking up here. A little bit of rain as well. Much needed here on Long Island. Now the chase and Gomes again. Full effort from Gomes. These guys been dealing with a lot of injuries. Think about this for Luke Gomes, number 4 for Massapequa. Started the year with a broken back. So that first Plainview game, that was his first game, gets the winning assist. Right, and now that back injury, then he had a hip flexor as well, and he didn't play from that match. He didn't play last match. There was still a question whether he'd play in this one.
Number 13, Ryan.
He's just a sophomore.
And despite those injuries, a lot of effective minutes out on the field today. Again, doesn't look any worse for the wear.
Massapequa had a bounce back from being a man down at Port, winning on PKs. 5-4 to advance to this game. Shulashov sends it back to the middle of the park. Looking to settle it, Massapequa. And their efforts to this point, right? A long distance free kick, another one that really didn't bother. That 18-yard box has been locked down. That shot blocked.
It's like a spider web back there. Everything is getting caught up. It's so difficult to get through that defense. We can't say it enough. I mean, they're going to be a threat all the way through with their defensive play through the midfield, back to the defense. And then if Petrosurek sees shots, he can make the stops as well.
That's another one of those, right? A long distance free kick.
So we can shorten it up this time.
And Velez puts it in the mix. Looked like he was trying to connect with Feno Altia, unable to. Now, Velez, though, has some highlight reel goals, right? Off set piece. He had one against Hicksville from almost that spot. He had like a 0-angle free kick against Herrick's. And then a quality taken free kick against Port in the quarters also finished one of their 5 penalties.
Problem is, so far, most of those free kicks a little too far out for that kind of magic against, again, a goalkeeper that's a pretty big guy. So playing it shorter there was good. It was just like a little bit of a misread by Feno Altia on the jump.
And there's Velez again, the junior. That's a really good one. Again, looking for Feno Altia. He'll have a go from distance, and again, a short roller. No problem for Perchsoric. Final 13 and a half minutes here of this one. Plainview JFK well in control of this one. Looking to book another spot back in the county final. A year ago, they were the favorite, upset by East Meadow.
And the talent on that East Meadow team, the big three that they had.
Up front, yeah. Dylan Wop, one of those.
McLeod. It's an incredible team.
Velez on frame. And another save.
Massapequa's starting to kick it up a little bit, getting a few more opportunities here, especially off those free kicks.
Yeah, and that's what we said, right? Would get them there, but as you mentioned, like you love it to be from around the 18, like maybe 20 yards, 25 yards instead of 45 yards.
And that, again, comes back to what you said about that creative defensive play of that midfield. They're not allowing it to get that deep for the fouls.
Foul called against the Chiefs. Nice flick on. And the offside flag was raised again. See how quickly they turn it into an offensive opportunity?
Yeah, I didn't know if it was going to be called offside, and those quick strikes. But it's possession. They're just so good at holding on to the ball, keeping tight. And Massapequa, to their credit, doesn't give them much space. You know, against a different type of team, they can really open up the field.
Yeah, they're not allowing, and that's the thing too. When you have those conflicting styles against a team that high presses, the possession team often, right? You can't possess out of the back because they're right on you. You have no time, so then you often put balls over the top, and usually you've got guys again on a team that presses high to win those second balls. The key oftentimes for a possession team against a pressing team, break that first press, and now you've got numbers going the other way. And it's got to be quick touches. That is a shirt pull and a half. That's a 10-yard holding penalty.
Yeah, so you turn around and you say, we'll buy you one if you want it that bad. Jeez. And Martin Target, like right there, right in front of him.
A frustrating night for the Chiefs. Ambrosini, look out, missed it. Still there and scampering back was Ambrosini. Fiello unable to put it into the empty net.
Could you read his mind there? It was like a pool shot. Like he was just looking at the pocket and just was going to tip it in. Like he stopped and just watched it roll.
5-ball corner pocket.
Yeah, you can read his mind there, right? It's like you could see the whole play unfold.
Masidi. There's Ambrosini again. And he's been massive, just again, his ability to get off his line quickly. All right, so if Plainview JFK tries to play over the top, well, there's Ambrosini to snuff out those opportunities. And here's a chance perhaps for Massapequa, but again, when you run at Shulashov, you best not miss.
Yeah, he's definitely one of my favorite players to watch on this Massapequa team. You know, a senior, Ambrosio, and
that was a take on The Wire, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Have you watched The Wire?
No, I'm a Walking Dead only guy. I don't watch much
That's
TV.
it. Only show you've ever watched. Chance in the box, Massapequa, and a diving save.
I watched Sanford and Son. Does that count? Oh, that's too old.
Count. It's a television show.
All right.
Sure.
What's happening? I'm dating myself. You guys with all the Office references, just leaving me out in the cold over here.
No, it was The Wire.
No, but before you're doing the Office with them, I think. I don't know.
Office Space, maybe?
Office Space.
Okay.
That's Office Space. See, that's what I'm Walking Dead and American Horror Story for me.
Ball out of touch as Massapequa. It is getting late for the Chiefs. 7.5 minutes left in this one. They've got to somehow find a way to crack what appears to be that impenetrable wall around the 18-yard box and find a goal that they hope can turn to 2 and maybe 3. That shot blocked. Gomes, service, Petrosoric gets a touch, and here's a corner, and this is what we're saying. This is a rare set-piece opportunity for the Chiefs where they can capitalize.
And again, I got to give them full credit. They are still trying to win this game. Nobody's sitting back.
Velez, the in-swinger. Good ball, back post, and it's headed wide. Gavin Meskel got a piece.
It's going to be a goal kick as another minute tick down from the last time we looked up at the clock, and time not on the side of the Chiefs right now.
Not a similar play earlier in this second half. Shulashov on the other side. Put Plainview JFK ahead 2-0. Ball in the far corner. It'll be a 4-man battle there. Almost looks like a rugby scrum now. It results in a goal kick.
And I know that we've talked about Ambrosio ad nauseum, but again, how quick he gets back to the net. Like, he's not scared to go out there and challenge a ball. He realized he wasn't going to get to it. And like Spider-Man, he's like right back there.
And there he is again. Trying to shield off the Plainview attacking player, and it worked.
That was incredible. Like, he does it all. Plays defense and everything. I don't know if I've ever seen a keeper do that over there like that. Have you?
No. No,
I
don't think so.
It's a first. Look at that. All these new first things I get to watch in the playoffs.
Just under 5 minutes left in the game. The score is 2-0. Plainview in the
Inside the final 5 minutes now. A first half own goal and then a headed goal by Nick Shulashov as Plainview JFK well in control. As you would expect, with Massapequa chasing the game, they've had more of the possession, but really their chances have, one, been few and far between, and two, have been from distance. We'll stop the clock here as Plainview JFK subs.
And we've discussed this. Rule clock stops within 5 minutes if the winning team makes a substitution. And it looked like they were trying to kill some clock by sending that ball deep and then you make a substitution to stop it. So we'll see how Plainview plays the rest of this game.
You would think being in the postseason motivation enough, but listen, Plainview, whether it was the last training session or in the locker room or even on the bus ride over, probably at least among the boys, another reminder, hey, this is the only team that beat us this year at our home field in front of our fans.
Yeah.
And we want to get back to the final again. So double motivation for the Hawks. And they came out and they played like that, especially early on.
Yeah, a lot of scoring opportunities early in this game, and then once they had the 1-0 lead, settled down. And then we literally were talking about it for the first 5 minutes. Shulashov, a magnet on his head with the ball. A beautiful goal for the second one.
And I feel like, you know, if we were to give a man of the match type of award, I would think it would have to be him for clearing up everything defensively, then scoring a goal on the other side of things as well.
Yeah, it's a special player that can be that effective on both sides of the field.
Ball sent up towards midfield.
And him and Fiello, only juniors.
Peak with a 5 seed, and they didn't clinch their spot until the final day of the regular season. And they had to go to their rivals, Farmingdale, and they won that one 5-0. What a moment that was for these guys. Look at Gomes into the box, still on it. Bit of a heavy touch though, as Gomes frustratingly puts it into that netting. But actually it took a deflection, so it'll be a corner. Now all hands on deck. Ambrosio, get in there.
Yeah, how would you see him chugging up?
He is at midfield. Velez, good looking ball into the mix. Second opportunity. That's fired over. D'Amico, that was the one.
Yep, if there was a shot that was going to be putting it from a great location, that was it. Only a minute 30 left, though. It'd be, again, a lot of tough climbing, even if you got it in. And now it's just a race against the clock.
There's Krieg. Another throw for Massapequa.
Another throw in for Massapequa.
Ball clipped in. Shulashov up the middle to Fiello. Fiello, look out. Advantage played. And the ball out of touch. Inside the final minute here. How about this for Plainview JFK? They're 26 seconds away, right, from another shutout. They've only conceded 1 goal in their last 9 games now. And they will advance yet again to the county final. 2-0 is the final score. So Plainview JFK, they've booked their spot back in the final. They've avenged their only loss of the season. And the Hawks advance to Sunday's county final. Here it is, the updated bracket. And there's Plainview JFK. Will it be Syosset? or will it be upstart Uniondale? We find out at around 10 o'clock or 10:30 tonight.
And there's a celebration. We know that they're probably going to be tuning in to us pretty soon to see who they're going to be advancing to play. But an incredibly talented team.
And a difficult loss for Massapequa. Their season ends at 6-6-4. And again, they had to fight their way into the postseason, and then they had some magic in the quarterfinals via a PK shootout. But their magic ended here tonight at Farmingdale State College. For Plainview JFK, 13-1-2. But for them, the job's not over yet. They want to get back to the county final, where they lost a year ago and they were upset by East Meadow. And judging by these 80 minutes at least that we just saw the Hawks, they will be a highly motivated team and a very difficult team to beat back here at Farmingdale State College.
You said it, Dylan, and fight is what Massapequa did the entire game. We talk about it. Styles make fights. You know, this was Sugar Ray Leonard versus Roberto Duran, but never a no mas with Massapequa. They kept bringing it the entire game. Just when it looked out of reach, a great season for Coach Matt Burke and his Chiefs. And congratulations to Plainview and Coach Christine Ho.
So the top-seeded Hawks, they will fly on to the final. And that'll do it here from game number 1 of our doubleheader in Nassau Class AAA. The next matchup, that'll be about 8:30 tonight as Syosset and Uniondale take flight. That one should be a lot of fun as well. Join myself and Rob Anderson on the call of that one. But that'll do it here from game number 1. I want to thank our entire Varsity Media crew, our executive producer, Ben Turchin, our technical director, Chris Sweeney, Kevin Catalanato, and Ron Pierre, bringing you all those great moving images. For my broadcast partner, Rob Anderson, I'm Dylan Butler, thanking you for joining us from Farmingdale State College. We look forward to seeing you in about a little less than an hour for game number 2, right here on the Varsity Media Sports